Hi everyone, welcome to World of Clan Wars with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is a replay featuring my good self, stewiejp from 1AR in the T11OE5. And without blowing my own trumpet too much, I don't have too much of a bad game in this one, which is pretty unusual, even though with the vast talented experience of the callers at 1AR, sometimes I manage to stuff it all up. Of course, this replay is from patch 9.17, and in this Clan Wars replay we're taking on EMP clan. Exercises make perfect. In this game, I'm in the T11OE5, and you can see the lineup on the left-hand side of the screen of the 1AR lads. We've got two Mouses, one 113, two T11OE5s, American heavy tanks. We've got four Russian heavy tanks, three American tank destroyers, and three artilleries. Artilleries. Von the Burglar, Geordie Bro, and What's Up, and they love their Tier 10 arties. It is a little bit of a slow start in this one without giving too much away. You can see on the mini-map on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see where the tanks are formed up. The heavy tanks sort of formed up in the eastern central part of the map. One of the Mouses still back at the base. I think he's loaded in. Maybe. Who was it? He may have not loaded in, but he does get in to the game pretty quickly on Arctic Region. Of course, on Arctic Region, I think both clans are attacking this block of land. I don't think either clan, either 1AR or EMP, own this piece of land. So it's up to both sides to win the battle. Of course, if you're fighting a landowner, then the landowner has the prerogative, if you like, to camp it out for a draw, if that's how they want to play it. Some clans like to do that. Object 907 in the north, driven by Fatal. I don't know if it's Fatal Error. I think it is Fatal Error. You're going to Oz Panzer in his other Object 907. One Object 907 getting some vision to the north for the three artilleries, and of course another Object 907 back here in the traditional tank destroyer spot, trying to get some vision into the central part of Arctic Region. Of course, with three artilleries, best thing to do is try and make sure you can light the enemy team so the arties can drop turds on their heads. And of course that's what these medium tanks are trying to do, but we're trying to do it without taking early damage. We've got a good number of heavies and medium tanks in the central eastern part of the map. You can see Renork's loaded in now in his mouse. IMC Jimmy, world famous IMC Jimmy from Twitch, is on the eastern flank with those mouses ready to assist in that push to the south. And Object 140, a very brave Object 140, think the bub down south, providing some vision down there. Von the Burglar and his Conqueror GC absolutely loves his Tier 10 arties. He's picked up the first kill of the game, getting rid of the enemy Object 140 Russian Tier 10 medium tank that was sort of scouting the north. But apart from that, no enemy tanks spotted yet. You can see on the right side of the screen three of the enemy team's names. One's the Object 140, which got killed by Von, and the other two, you imagine they're either artillery or tank destroyers, but they've clearly done a little bit of damage to somebody. I think this Object 907 in the north is out of view range at the moment. It's not Oz, which you can see here. Oz is on this ledge. This is just out of this yellow line, so we can't really see him from our big American heavy tank, but I'm pretty sure he's the one that's copying a little bit of damage from these two players on the top right hand side of the screen. One zips a score on Arctic Regions. EMP, a pretty handy clan. Can't remember where they're from. I've got a feeling they're Korean, but they're not a new clan. They've been around for some time. They've been around for a number of years from memory. I remember coming up against them back in MI6 or Empire. I think I might have been back when I was at MI6, which is a good 12 months ago. Big Chinese heavy tank 113 also been spotted in the north, so you can bet the bottom dollar that these tank destroyers up here, the T11OE4s, as well as at least two artilleries aiming that way, as the Object 140 in the south, think the bub, picks up some vision on these three enemy Mouses. Of course, in Tier 10 Clan Wars, the Mouse is probably the most popular heavy tank in Tier 10 Clan Wars at the moment. It's just the way it's gone with the buffs. It's gone like a lot of slow tanks. It's been made a little bit quicker, a little bit more nimble, if you can call a Mouse nimble, but also that strong German armour is absolutely fantastic. You can just see the enemy Mouses in the middle of the screen now. They've just gone out of view range, but I think they might have taken a little bit of damage from our artilleries. Still one zip as the 10-minute mark passes, and course, again, you can see on the mini-map that heavy tanks formed up on the east. I've got a feeling maybe I wasn't supposed to be back here. I think I was supposed to be back here. And both Geordie Pro and Oz both doing some brilliant calling at this stage of the game, even though not much has happened. We're just trying to get some information on where these enemy tanks are. I very much doubt that these heavy tanks in the east have been spotted. I certainly haven't been spotted. These tank destroyers, I don't think they've been spotted either. So the enemy still don't know what we've got, let alone where we're positioned. I'm pretty sure they've already worked out we've got artillery, since Von picked up that beautiful kill on the enemy object 140. But it's a little bit of a case of hurry up and wait in Tier 10 clan wars. A lot of clans make the mistake of trying to win the game in the first 5 minutes. It looks like we're having a bit of a camp, but we're forming up ready to push either the north or the south. From where our tanks are, our tanks could comfortably come up to the north to have a bit of a push here, or go take the downhill road and push on their base that way. You can see Oz pinging the map a little bit, working out where they all are. Think the bub pinging down here, he thinks that's where his artillery shot came from. He might have taken some damage from the enemy artillery, one of those two unspotted tanks that you can see on the right side of the screen. And after this replay, I don't have another replay which is sort of suitable for this, so what I'm going to do is show some highlights from the annual, and it's a big thing at 1AR. We all know about 1AR shenanigans on a Saturday night, but every Anzac Day evening they have some Anzac Day races with mega prizes up for grabs if you're in the clan. And they're done on Abbey, generally in light tanks below Tier 5, something that's quick, fast, and hopefully something that doesn't get rammed too much. The 8-minute mark comes on the timer. Still a case of hurry up and wait. Now I've been in some brilliant Tier 10 battles with these guys, and even with the score on 1-zip and with the timer down to about 4 minutes, we've managed to pull off some brilliant wins. As you can see, IMC Jimmy in the middle of the screen just copped a big shell there for around about 1,000 hit points. So it certainly wasn't a mouse. It looked like it was one shot, or maybe two mouses shot him at the same time. That would do not far off 1,000 hit points of damage. 7.5 minutes to go, which is a half-minute mark in a Tier 10 or in any Clan War battle. Still 1-zip to score, and at this point it's probably the first 7 minutes probably hasn't been too exciting, but at this stage, even though the score's only 1-zip, even though that is the case, we know a lot of our tanks haven't been lit. The Object 907 in the north clearly has been lit, and clearly the T62A has been lit, and I think the Bub got lit as well in his Object 140, so he's coming back here to try and maybe swap out with this Object 907, who from memory is on pretty low health. Ozpanzer Ace, one of the great gentlemen of 1AR, is coming down to join these heavy tanks, and I reckon I might do the same very shortly. Just over 6.5 minutes left in this game, still 1-zip. But you can see all these heavy tanks, most of them have got pretty much all their health left. There's clearly an artillery shell. Took a little bit more off IMC Jimmy. And I'm just waiting for the go. I think we're going to lead this charge down the eastern flank with the Mouses. And of course the Mouses are a lot quicker than myself in the T110E5. And Lucky Luciano in his 113, his Chinese heavy tank, which he absolutely loves. Bit of pinging going on here. Looks like I might have been told to move back a little bit, just in case they push the north. Object 140 back up to where Ozpanzer Ace was on that ledge. You can see Jimmy's copped a bit of a thrashing. Ozpanzer Ace coming back in his 907. Cops a shot. I don't think that was artillery, but it looks like they might have tracked him. And here they are. Here's the enemy Mouses pushing in. There's only 3 Mouses down there, plus a 113. Artillery shoots and misses back towards where I am. I know I'm not lit because the 6th sense hasn't gone off, but considering a move here at 1AR. 5.5 minutes left on the clock, and of course in Clan Wars it's when you're both attacking the one piece of land. There's no points for a draw, there's certainly no points for second place, so we need to think about what we're going to do. Just over 5 minutes left now. It looks like there's a bit of trading going on this eastern flank. And it looks like to me the call's been made to push in, so I know I can comfortably catch these Mouses. The Mouses, of course, not known for their speed, as one of them takes a shot from the ones down the bottom. Lucky Luciano and his 113. He's sort of, from memory, he was taking control of these heavy tanks. There's just 2 mouses down the bottom part of this map on Arctic region, and put a shot into the turret of the mouse, and the call is to go. And the best thing about going for mouses, as Jimmy crashes, not sure if you've been drinking that day or not, is if you get past them, and that's the key, as I block a shot from the second mouse, get past them and get to their weak spots. Don't worry about trying to penetrate their frontal armour or even a badly aimed shot like I just did now. The mouse puts a shot into my T11 OE5. I'm waiting for this gun to reload. I put a shot into him. That takes him down to a 1 shot, and now all of a sudden we're up 2 tanks, 4 tanks to 2, and the call was briefly to go back, and I think in the end they change their mind and say, no, let's not go back, let's push forward. A number of medium tanks back here, they're looking for vision on these artilleries. Our artillery's certainly in trouble. Just 3 tank destroyers protecting these artilleries. Bit of ping into the map going on there by Geordie Pro, and of course Geordie Pro's one of the callers at 1AR. It's no secret there. Oz Panther as well. Looks like Oz is saying, come on Stewie, let's get back there and get rid of these medium tanks. Object 140 coming here, trying to get more vision on these tank destroyers and the heavy tanks that are starting to go back. And it looks like I'm going to join them as well, heading back towards the base. Only 3.5 minutes to go here. 4 to 2, so we still need to kill 11 more tanks, or by some miracle cap them out in under 3 minutes. And by the time I get up to where this rock is, around about now, I said, nah, it's too far to go back with these big, slow, heavy tanks. Let's push straight down this southern eastern flank. So 4-2's the score. The mouses are moving forward, so is Oz, so am I. 5-2 the score now, as what's up at his T92, big tier 10 artillery piece, gets rid of the Object 140, which was up here with the enemy Batchat. But look, there's a couple more there, and these heavily armoured tank destroyers, they really need to push into these medium tanks and take them out. We've spotted another mouse here on reasonably high health. I've blocked a shot from him, put a shot into him in return, and of course our mouse putting damage into the enemy mouse. AMX-50B, a pretty dangerous tank in Tier 10 Clan Wars with its autoloader. Pokey gets done by Kranwagen, and the enemy Batchat takes out Jezelenko in his T11 OE4 up on the other side of the map. And we've worked out here 6-4. We still need to kill 9 more enemy tanks. There's an AMX-50B and a Kranwagen, and that Kranwagen getting into a good hull down position there. Ozpanzer Race not stuffing around in his quick Object 907 Clan Wars reward tank, as Von the Burglar gets rid of the auto-loading French heavy tank. Von's going to go straight for the cap and look for those artilleries. Ice the Pet having a look at that Kranwagen as the 2-minute siren goes off. Moving forward, get a shot into the auto-loading Swedish heavy tank. Ice the Pet putting some damage into him, but at this point that Kranwagen goes straight down into that gully, and I reckon he's pretty much out of this game. So I have one more look at him and think, nah, no chance here. 11-8, 4 enemy tanks left. One of them's a Kranwagen here, one of them's a Batchat up here, and the other 2, you would imagine, are artillery. A lot of pinging going on. That Batchat, now we're sitting on the cap, the Object 907 featuring the great man Ozpanzer Race, and of course the 113 with Lucky Luciano sitting on the cap. 38 seconds left on the cap. If we can cap this one out, it will be an absolute ripper. The mouse, Ranok, the mouse gets rid of the Kranwagen, so it's just the Batchat and 2 artilleries left on the enemy side. That Batchat's having a ripper of a game. He's on 4 kills, 12-8 to score, 22 seconds left on the cap, and rather than going to try and assist the cap, I've been tasked with the job of trying to cut this Batchat off just in case he comes back down. Pretty safe to say the enemy artilleries are nowhere near the cap. As I get a shot into the Batchat, but he's not interested in me, he's interested in resets as the cap goes off. 2 seconds to go, 1 second, and I think artillery had clearly got a reset in, but luckily for me, I bounced the shot from the Batchat, and now there's only 30 seconds left in the game, 35 seconds left on the cap timer, and it's just going to be a mad race for stewiejp and his T11 OE5 to head straight to the cap circle. Oz is sitting on there with 24 seconds left on the counter, 15 seconds left on the game counter. Can we get the cap circle down? Yes, we can. It's down to 8 seconds, 7, 6, 8 seconds left on the on the clock. We don't want to be hit by Artie. 2 seconds, 1. Artillery shoots and misses. And in the end, 1 AR with a second to go caps out the timer. And in the end, not a bad result, beating EMP 13-9. As we have a very quick look at the post-game battle results. Not a bad result at all when you have a look at, and yes, that's me at the top. Doesn't happen very often, folks. Doesn't happen very often, but every now and then I have a ripper in whatever tank I drive. But there's probably 10 dud games for any good one. 3,000 damage to myself. 2,500 hit points of damage for Jimmy Jim in his T11 OE3. And of course, plenty of players doing around about 2,000 hit points of damage. And a pretty tight game. Those last 2 tanks weren't spotted. And of course, that tells me that very good chance that they were artillery. Pretty good result to beat a team like EMP, who, when you look at their statistics, they're a pretty good clan. But anyway, we're on to the Anzac Day races now. This is the final. This is the final. You can see all the PZ1Cs, Panzer 1Cs. Now, in the official rules, there's no shooting allowed, but you can hear these machine guns going off. Everyone just getting rid of the bullets. So I got no ammunition in my little Panzer 1C, little tier 3 German light tank. However, everyone's on their marks. Get set, go. That bang was the go. And of course, in this game, if you follow my cursor on the mini-map, you basically got to go around the Abbey. 3 laps, I think it was. And it's absolute carnage on the first corner as usual. A lot of people going for the PZ1Cs. Those tier 10 tanks that you can see in the team, they're just the vets. They're just to make sure everybody sticks to the rules and everybody goes to where they're supposed to go. Opt for the short corner around there on the western flank of Abbey. Try to avoid some of the carnage, and of course one of the eccentricities, if you like, of 1AR Anzac Day races is whoever's coming last on each lap gets killed by the vet. You can't see him now, but there's a vet, one of the Object 907s. I think it might be Armour Girl will be back here or around about near the finish line, and they will shoot whoever's last, taking them out of the race. And of course there's mega prizes up for grabs on Anzac Day races, mainly by the Panzer 1Cs. You can have a look. You can see Ferrell's winning here, and he's being tightly contested by McMole in the T2 light, and Fassetti and myself in the Panzer 1Cs following close behind. Jezelenko having a great view of this corner from over here as we move around the Abbey to try and finish the first lap intact. So far nobody's dead, but as you know, anyone who's a fan of Anzac Day races with 1AR will tell you that somebody dies at the end of each lap, and it looks like Armour Girl might have the honour of shooting whoever's last. Do a bit of a jump there, which caused a few people to raise their eyebrows without giving myself too much of a rap. I reckon I'm doing pretty well here for a noob. I've got a pretty lowly skilled crew in this tank. No skills on my crew, but it looks like I'm in danger of taking the lead here. Look out on the western front at the start of the second lap. You can see one of the last tanks crossing the finish line now. One of them might be getting vetted. Now, of course, no shooting allowed during the race, and of course, if you do, you might get shot by one of the vets, which is the tier 10 tanks. And there you go, Armour Girl killed Wildebeest in his Panzer 1C. He was coming last. Somehow managed to avoid a little bit of carnage, as does the Ferrell, and halfway through the second lap of these Anzac Day 1AR races, it's the Ferrell coming first, followed closely by Stewie. And of course, Jezelenko can't see this. Jezelenko's sitting here where the Object 907 is on the mini-map. It's his job to make sure there's no funny business going on. He doesn't know how close we are. And when we get round to this part of the map, around about now, we can see him there in his Object 907. He's going, oh, have a look at this bit of slipstream, and he's going absolutely apeshit. It's between the Ferrell and stewiejp in the Panzer 1Cs. T2's last time I did races with 1AR, the T2s did quite well as the Feral nearly flips his tank, and a little bit of argy-bargy. You're allowed to bump and crash, but of course you want to be keeping one eye on the amount of hit points left. And also, you can also see I'm running chocolate. That'll make me go a little bit quicker, and of course the 105 octane gasoline. And I think we have to go around this rock, and the finish line is here, but there's one more lap to go as the Feral continues to stay in the front. Jezelenko puts a shot into IMC Jimmy. They're great mates. Takes out the Panzer 1C from the back. Of course, sometimes if you're that much, if you're miles away, you might call for the vet. You might say, I'm out of this. I am absolutely ratchet. They might have a damaged engine or a damaged injured driver. Take the shortcut around through those dead tanks again. Feral's getting a bit of a lead on me, which is what he tends to do down here in the 3 laps. I noticed he was getting a bit of a lead on me here, but then I could generally catch him a little bit around there. Think the Bub, who had a brilliant game in the last Clan Wars battle on this video, found the water and drowned. Of course, when you're in the middle of pack, there's often a lot of funny business happen. You might flip the tank or do a few jumps. You've got to try something to get back to the lead. And this is, I reckon this is the final lap. If it's the 3rd lap, it certainly is. And it's all about, Jezelenko made the comment, it's all about the lines, which line you take. And so I'm trying to take the quickest line, but Feral just proving a little bit challenging to get past. But maybe, just maybe I've done it. This is the final lap of the Anzac Day. I think it's the 6th or the 7th. 6th, I think. Anzac Day races at 1AR. And of course the Panzer 1C. I took that one a little bit wide. I should have cut in, because now the Feral has a shorter run to the flag. But can we take? See, it's getting a little bit sketchy. But what can I do? I was very tempted just to try and clip him so that he would fall over. And of course I think it's the first into the cap circle win. So it was a brilliant race by the Feral, and somehow I just made it in to the cap circle in 2nd place. And of course it's always lots of good fun, and it's Struth's job, as is the commander, it's Struth's job to shoot the tanks as they finish in order to determine the places. And I was pretty excited getting 2nd place in my little Panzer 1C. So I hope you've enjoyed the Anzac Day races, as well as an absolute ripper of a Clan Wars battle against EMP from 1AR on Arctic region. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the comments, and thanks for subscribing and liking the videos. I really appreciate it. It really does encourage me to keep on going and keep on chipping away. Plenty more replays coming from patch 9.17.1 before I get stuck into the new patch videos from patch 9.18. Thanks for watching, everyone, as we watch Struth take out the last 1 or 2 tanks in the game. And of course, it's down to the tier 10s now. It obviously takes more than one go to get rid of them. And Struth looking like he's out of ammunition, so he's down to trying to ram this little Russian Object 907. Of course, there's plenty of Clan Wars reward tanks in 1AR because they're pretty active in the Clan Wars. And there he goes. Struth kills AG, and there's only 2 others left for him to try and get rid of. No idea where they are. Money Shot looks like he's going to be his next victim. Or is it going to be Jezelenko? Jezelenko down to just a couple of hit points. Struth saying, no, I want the last kill. Moves around and boom. There you go. Anzac Day races, as well as 1AR Clan Wars. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. See you all next time.